The news that we refer to as fake is at it again. And the person that, for me, made that big was Donald Trump. This moniker of fake news, it really resonated with me because that's what it is. Washington Post reported here, believe it or not, this is in some of the most scary, difficult times in our nation. They're lying. And when they did it during the pandemic, you knew they would do it at any time. The Washington, and they've been doing it. I just woke up during the pandemic. The gunman who opened fire on an outlet mall in a Dallas suburb Saturday, yesterday as of this recording, unliving at least 8 people, was a man in his early 30s who may have been or may have had white supremacist or neo-Yahtzee beliefs. People familiar with the investigation said Sunday. That's what they told the Washington Post. Only one problem. The dude's Mexican as hell. Mostly peaceful memes said the shooter reportedly shouted, "Este es un país maga." Somebody said the translation should be more esta tierra es maga, but still chuckled. I would laugh too if it wasn't so evil. They said, notice what they did. They said may have had white supremacist or neo-Yahtzee beliefs. What is a white supremacist belief? What is a neo-Yahtzee belief? I don't even know what the definition of those things are. And then they say may on top of it. This was so funny. So what does it do? It allows people like Keith Olbermann to jump on board. Keith Olbermann jumped on board with this and went after Isabella Riley Moody, who she's pregnant, and I'm not saying that's the reason why, but she's not one to play with right now. She's not the one. So, Keith, don't pick somebody else right now, but do you. Keith Olbermann replied to Isabel, because Isabel said, Texas is effed. The Allen, Texas shooting was 50 minutes away from me, and the shooter was a Hispanic gang member, likely tied to the cartel. Now, another Hispanic man took a SUV, unlived over 7 people in Brownsville, Texas. Biden's border is unliving people. Keith Olbermann says, "Dear F-head, the mass murderer was, like you, a white supremacist lunatic." And what does he quote? What does he cite as his proof? He cites the Washington Post article that cited people familiar with the investigation, which means who God knows who. It could be anybody. And then may have had white supremacists. We don't even know what that is. May have. He cites that as if it were a fact. That's how the fake news works. Isabella Riley Moody was not here for it. She said, "Dear effing Ree, not very bright person." I'm just not in the mood for the verbiage. It's just, you see what it is. Why would a Mexican be a white supremacist, you fake news shill, talking to Keith Olbermann? Maybe you should focus on getting your ratings up before you call a pregnant woman an F-head on Twitter. Biatch. Oh, man. I just had to get that out. And then homie Guy Squiggs, who actually he was named in the Twitter, in like the first, or I think one of the early Twitter files, as they were going after him. I believe it's just a memester. Says, "I'm going to print this poster size and hang it on my wall." Just fantastic. I went from being younger, have my favorite superhero is Batman, if you don't know. Got Isom now. There's some similarities between, Isom is like a cross between Batman and I would say Luke Cage. And I don't know if young July would appreciate that, but it's all no beef there. I think that's a good thing. But I went from that to now potentially printing out Isabella Riley Moody tweets and hanging them up on my wall as posters. I've come a long way. It's dark stuff, but hopefully we can get a couple laughs in as this all starts to crumble.